Dictation.
All on airplane mode.
Didn't we do that 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm gonna do it every week.
That should just be our thing.
Yeah.
Podcast time.
Oh, well, guys, welcome to episode.
Oh
God.
shit!
Wow.
No,
That was
bad.
Sorry, let's try it again. Welcome to episode 2 of Dictation with your awesome hosts, Aaron Wiggins,
Sarah O'Heron,
And Cameron Gonzalez. Hello, everyone.
Gonzalez.
Yeah. We've talked about this many times.
You know what? I didn't expect Gonzalez.
Nobody does. It's just my life. Nobody
expects.
No girl wants it.
The
So it's
Spanish
like,
Inquisition.
Actually,
that's
a
bit of a
that's
sad
a funny story
existence.
that I'm going to say for after the podcast.
Okay,
no.
fair enough.
Okay, well.
It's so personal.
It's not personal.
You know the
It
deal.
has nothing to do
Behind
with
the
music.
scenes.
We talk music and other things. I mean, why are you laughing? I'm explaining.
Because it's the second time and you already sound tired. Like, this is the second episode and you're like, yeah, we talk about, like, music and shit. And it's funny.
Well, I mean, people get it at this point. Like, you're not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the first video where we did our introductions and I'm all, woohoo! This one, I mean, you
Let's
get
just
the
chill
deal.
out.
We're
Yeah.
going to get into it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
true.
sentence.
That's a sentence.
I like we're already letting loose. Like,
But that's good. Like, the more you
that
let
sounds
loose,
like it could be a shitty situation really quickly.
the more you allow it to, like, be, you know, I feel like it's cooler.
That's a
'cause-
poop reference.
Oh, what? That's not a poop reference. What?
He did. He made it progressive. I can't speak. Let's do a podcast.
Woo!
Alright.
Woo!
All right.
Also, I forgot to turn on the lights last time.
Fucking lights.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So we're getting
I brought an
fresco
extra
now.
light, so hopefully it's less grainy this time.
Yes.
I realized last time that it just wasn't enough light at all,
Too
so I
many
brought a
grains,
lamp.
and we might as well just make some rice. I'm sorry.
Oh,
The
no.
stress. All right, let's
All
start.
right.
Who's gonna start this week? I started
I don't
last
know.
week, so I'm out.
You started last week.
He's
Should I
out.
start?
Ladies first. I mean,
Yeah, that's
technically
true.
second.
Let's do it. Let's do a fun one because my other one's not fun, and it's kind of a big deal. So I want to talk about how Toto and Weezer are like best friends right now because Weezer covered Africa by Toto,
Mhm.
and now Toto has covered Hash Pipe by Weezer, like in response.
Oh.
I
And-
felt the rains down, back to the shack.
Damn.
Wow.
All right, let's just quit the podcast. And
let's just start
Start a
another band.
So yeah, it's just really funny. Like I read this article, it was mostly just like from the point of view of Toto that was just like, oh my god, like I really love Weezer and like I wanted to do I wanted to do like this song and then I wanted to do this song and like but then we finally decided on this song and like I just hope they like it like a lot.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's just fucking cute.
That's
Isn't
adorable.
it awesome?
And
how,
I
like,
ship it a lot.
artists can just like fangirl over. Oh wow! It's interesting when you see like some of your favorite like artists like really like enjoy other like musicians, especially if it's like different styles than like what the artist is in.
Yeah.
Because I've seen situations where it's like going back to Ed Sheeran and he's like fawning over like I don't know like Rihanna or something where like those are two different.
It's
Two different
very
genres.
interesting to see who takes inspiration
Right.
from who. Sometimes, like, I mean, like you wouldn't think that somebody who makes like rap stuff also listens to like classical music, or somebody who makes like rock stuff listens to like cello suites or stuff like that. Like I don't know, like
No, yeah.
that,
you're
like
right
some
about
people
that.
just and it's great because it really shows you like you can listen to those songs or those specific things about those songs and you can see like, oh, I see where they got all that from.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely tell like that's just a part of their style, and I think it's cool to see like what's specific about music that people like really latch
Right,
onto and then
right.
do using their own creative stuff. So it's really cool to see people do that.
Also, I just really like it because Weezer covering Africa was a thing because one of like a Weezer fan started an entire Twitter campaign for them to cover Africa, and it just got like everybody was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this shit, blah blah blah, hype. And then they finally did it. And now it's like brought these two like genres together just because of that one dude was like, this would be a cool thing, and then everybody else was like, you're right, that is a cool
Well,
thing.
you know what? We should start our own
Yes.
Like, I don't know who, but who? Like, maybe if we mix like
Yo-Yo Ma and YouTube.
People do that stuff all the time. Like, all it takes is you gotta like, you take you YouTube to MP3 one song, and you do like a cut off of the top part so all the vocals are gone, and then you put it really loud into a playlist, and then you take another one and you do all the end stuff on so it's just the voice, and then you put it really loud into the playlist. And then you just match speeds and it sounds cool.
That's cool.
People make remixes like that, like how they do We Shot Music X Bonfire by Childish Gambino. Like that got really popular on SoundCloud. I liked it. I thought it was cool.
That's a great song.
Like,
too.
you can, like, to do it more professionally, I guess, you buy the stems.
Yeah.
You buy, like, the specific audio files and then you put them together. But you can do it yourself. It still sounds okay.
I had no idea you could buy stems.
Yeah, I mean,
that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's, stems, like, they're a big business for people who, because sampling is so crazy now. Everybody wants to sample, and they think it's the coolest thing ever. And if you can get something like you just pay more for samples that are more popular.
Right.
So, like, a lot of people just sample stuff that's really old, like old jazz stuff or like really old classical stuff that sounds good but is public domain at this point because the copyright's gone.
Right.
So you can just use it for whatever you want. And you don't have to pay any money, but if you want to use the stuff that's relevant, like if you wanted to sample like something from like anything on the radio basically, you got to pay for it. But you can get a hold of it.
That's so cool.
It just costs a lot of money.
Because like sometimes I'll listen to really old Tribe Called Quest, like the album that like started sampling like Stevie Wonder and shit like that, like Sir Duke, and like caused that whole like lawsuit thing about like sampling in hip hop, like when is the copyright this and when is the copyright that, and it's just I don't know, it's interesting. I never thought of that, but yeah, I don't know. I think I ship Toto and Weezer a lot now. I just want them to be best friends.
Well, I mean,
fall in love and make music babies.
At this point, why not?
Right? Exactly.
Anything's
Why not at
possible,
this
dude.
point? Yeah.
Like, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Scoot closer, Sarah. You're very far away.
I'm trying to chill out.
There you go.
Yeah. Guys, I'm closer.
Now you can lean back and you're not as quiet.
Yay.
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 Aw.
I did it.
She's like, I did it.
Also, listen to both songs because they're really good. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I will do.
Okay. That's it. That was mine. Just
I'd like to
happy news.
Run analytics and see like who paused the video at this point and was like, oh my god, I'm gonna listen to Sarah and do it. Like, that's gonna happen. And I guarantee you like 98% of people are like, I'll just leave it for later or something.
Like, we'll probably like put it in the description, be like, hey guys, by the way,
here's where you can go if you want to check that thing out that we didn't do.
Watch or listen to the rest of the podcast first,
and
then listen.
Then watch it. Yes.
Yes.
Support the
Could you imagine
platform
that, like-
after you're done
Yeah.
giving us money.
could you imagine like they just like go off on a little tangent and all of a sudden, like, it's kind of like whenever I go on YouTube, I just keep falling into like a constant hole of just like,
Yeah.
ooh, what we're doing? You found a 50-foot fish inside of a trench? What? I started off watching cooking videos.
I thought you said we're gonna fucking click off the video because I was being boring.
No.
I was like, why
Oh
is
my
Cameron
God.
coming for me right now?
Wow, that would be a
Never
real
mind.
dick move.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
Oh my
I don't
God,
want
I
to do
see
this
what you did
podcast
there.
anymore. But no, that's my
She
thing.
said I don't want to do this.
All right, that's her
Yeah.
thing.
That's my thing. Somebody else go now.
To move on to something else that's kind of fun. This happened quite a while ago. This was written July 3rd, 2018. The title is France's President Visits Nigerian Music Legends Nightclub. It is... So I guess when you read it through in the beginning, you're like, what? Because you're thinking like, okay, France just won the World Cup. France is happy. I guess like everybody cares about it over there in Europe, so it's like it's a big thing. Like, France won the World Cup.
Yeah.
So France's president was like, I'm gonna take a day off. What's something that I like doing that I could just... Why don't I run over to Lagos, go meet my friend Fela Kuti, at a nightclub which has a reputation as a hedonistic haven filled with frenetic music, scantily clad podium dancers, and the stench of marijuana smoke.
Fuck yeah.
That sounds like a good Tuesday.
It sounds like The Social, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking is kind of what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
If anyone lives in downtown Orlando that's watching this, The Social is that.
Yeah.
His name is Emmanuel Macron, the French president. Holding hands. Holding hands. He's not holding hands with Fela
Holding
Kuti.
hands.
He was holding talks in joint news conference with the president of the West African country. Stated blah blah blah. Politics. The fan original created by Fela, singer, composer, saxophonist. Singer, composer, and saxophonist.
Hey.
Fela Kuti.
Nice.
Anybody heard of him?
No.
That must be like a big thing in Africa then.
True. Maybe a big thing with saxophone players.
That's
Maybe
cool.
Well, definitely, probably.
Why aren't like composers
Jazz
opening
people.
nightclubs in America?
I'm sure
probably
they do.
are. Like, I'm pretty sure
really?
they are, but like more in like certain like specific cities. Like if you ever think about like a lot more, like probably like in Chicago or like New York downtownish type areas.
I mean,
just because I feel like if you put it like I don't know in Kansas, like nobody's gonna actually go. Like you have to go where the
You're right.
population is
And to be
and
fair,
where that
like,
vibe's gonna.
if you're opening a nightclub and you're a singer-composer, you're probably not well known. Like, if you're looking for, like, other sources of income like that, you're probably not so well known that people are going to know that you're a singer-composer
Well, if you think about
before
it, though,
you're the owner of a nightclub.
I feel like a lot of jazz artists start that way off. Like,
That's true.
start that
No,
way.
you're right. Yeah.
You know, because most of the time, especially when it comes to, like, impromptu music like that, like, that's you kind of putting your spin on whatever it is. Like, let's say if you're doing, like, I don't know, like a jab at, like, I don't know, Take 5 or something like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
could, like, do your own mix, and, like, that's kind of you, I don't want to say composing your own thing, but, like...
It's arranging.
Arranging.
I would call it,
you know?
yeah.
Or, like, if you have your own, like, you know, original composition, like, a lot of the times, like, you'll use venues like that to, like, put
yeah, you're right.
your music out there. So it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's just, now we're on a different scale versus it
Yeah.
being like, oh, this is Joe Schlo who just goes to the local bar every Tuesday. Like, this is like, oh,
He's
this
got
is
his own
this
place
is
now.
official. Okay.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
wow, like
yeah.
it's such a change of like
Right.
whoa.
That is true. Business-wise, like, if you're a musician and you're like, okay, so I'm going to, like, Pilar's, or that's another Orlando reference. The Pilar's, and I'm doing, like, jazz things every Friday night, blah, 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 and I'm getting, like, a big crowd, and I have all this money, why don't I just open up my own goddamn nightclub? And then I'm making another source of income, you know?
You know, expansion, business.
Expansion, business. Get my name out there.
But like, there's two different sides to that because you see you're getting popular, and then you can be like, okay, well now I'm gonna stop playing here, and I'm
then
gonna
I
do
can
like a
move on.
dedicated my own thing.
Yeah.
And people are gonna buy tickets to come see me.
Yeah.
And then you go off on a music career.
Yeah.
Or you could say like you did, like, okay, I'm getting a big crowd in a nightclub. How about I open my own nightclub?
Yeah.
Well, you could do both. Why not?
Yeah.
You
right?
could do both. Yes.
You know, like, yeah, like you have your own home base, like venue, like at home, and then you can go on tour and like people. It's kind of like whenever you see like say for instance like chefs or whatever. Like, let's use Gordon Ramsay. Like he has his own like restaurant, but of course like he has his like Gordon Ramsay goes around and Kitchen Nightmares type
Yeah, it's gotta
bullshit.
do a show.
Right.
Yeah.
And turn into like you. So you could do both. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I can see where things can get a little muddy. Because like you have your own like home venue, but like if you're not actually performing there, like you can give it gives opportunities to other musicians as well to like go ahead and
But
catapult.
it loses its value as soon as you stop being on stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you have to
because-
sit in the back and manage and watch, then like why would people go?
Well, that's
Right.
probably why
you would have to continue,
Yeah.
performing.
Right.
That's-
That's probably why a lot of like modern day artists like Beyonce doesn't have her own,
Well, yeah. Well, it's probably also why you got a crew
True.
to help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Squad up.
Squad up.
Squad out.
Ham squad. Dabs 3 times.
Going deeper into the article, I read this. I was reading through it because I was looking to find this one. The presence of the French president brought a different ambiance to the famed venue. The smell of marijuana was absent, and the gathering of youths that usually gather outside were absent due to the heavy security presence. Does that sound like whitewashing?
I don't know
Because
about
he is white, so like
I
you have to
don't-
think like a white person comes to a West African country. He shows up at a bar,
And
and
nobody's there.
it's just not the same bar anymore. Like it's just not like you took all of that out of it.
I don't necessarily
because
think
somebody important shows up, you know?
Right. I don't think it's necessarily whitewashing. It could just be, I mean, the vibe's going to be different. Like, it's kind of like if you're hanging out with your friends and then your parent walks into the room. Like, you're not going to be
vibe's different.
having the same conversations you would. Like, you're not going to be telling dick jokes one moment with your parent in the room. You're going to be like, yeah, let's do homework.
Unless your parent's cool as fuck.
Well, even if your parent's cool, like, you still, there would be like a level of where you would be. And I think that's probably what the same thing is.
Yeah, it probably is more of a power thing.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like if it was just like, if it was a black president or something and he just showed up, it would still be
Obama
like...
was
if Obama was there, it'd just be like, we have to respect this person.
Right.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I wanted to compare it to, like, if like, President Trump came up to the social one night. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm sure nobody would be there except for angry
Nobody would
bitches.
show up. Like, you'd be like, oh, I gotta get out.
Yeah.
Like, this is real bad.
Yeah, this is not fun.
Security will leave. They'd be like, I'm not in this.
But
got my paycheck, I'm gone.
But no, you keep reading, and it was actually like a cool thing because then more artists came to play there, and they held a fashion show there, which is, I guess, was a new thing.
That's cool.
Which is cool. They got to walk for the French president. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, imagine being a model and be like, okay, I've done all these like little runway gigs, and then you show up to the bar you keep going to all the time, and you're like, oh my god, that's the French president. I'm gonna show my bits off to the French president tonight.
I'm gonna show my bits
off. Oh, I'm gonna show my bits off.
And then at the very end,
president.
they do something really cool. So he actually had been there before. So he had been there. He spent 6 months there as an intern in the French embassy, like before he was president. And he says, I can't tell you everything that happened when I used to come to the shrine, because what happens at the shrine stays at the shrine.
So this article is basically just like, look at how cool the French president is.
Yeah, look how chill he is.
Wow.
Like he just showed up there and fucking killed it. Like he was everybody's favorite. Like everybody was like whoop whoop whoop. Like, hey, look who's back. It's kind of like a nice happy ending, because in the middle you're kind of like, okay, he just shows up and kills the vibe, and then at the end you're like, oh no, he brought like a new thing to the table. Like, all right.
I want to see this as like a movie now.
Yeah, am I right?
Like, there's a whole arc.
Like a full-length film.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I want.
Night with the French. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the title of the movie. Just Sacre-Bleu.
Yeah.
It's just The Shrine.
The Shrine. Oui. Oh.
No, the tagline is, what happens at the shrine stays
at the shrine.
Okay, good.
Oh, gosh.
So far, it's been wholesome news. So
Yeah.
Right, now we're going to ruin the movie.
We have other
Ruin the
stuff
mood.
lined up that's less wholesome.
Yeah.
But
A little bit less wholesome. Actually, you know what? I have a wholesome.
Okay, so the first half will be wholesome, and then the second
half. Okay, so let's do a little bit more wholesome, which is kind of weird. Okay, so not weird, but it's actually really interesting. So, for all of our viewers, listeners, who tend to listen to music outside of Western music, such as Korean pop music, there's this new artist. His name's Holland, and actually he's the first like LGBT like artist, like openly like gay artist to like debut, which is actually really interesting. It's actually a really big deal if you think about it, especially when it comes.
Yeah, because in Korea it's so like militant and like they're so
right. I feel like what it is, from a Western standpoint, that's the idea. But you have to realize, I mean, that was America like not even 100 years ago.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Where it's just like, what? Like, I feel like now the trend is a lot of like artists nowadays are coming out. Like, look at freaking Harry Styles.
Harry Styles
Literally just came out like a couple weeks ago.
And the guy from
Uh-huh.
Panic at the Disco, I think, right?
Brendan Urie?
Yes.
But
I think everybody
knew what was going on with Brendan.
Yeah. I did.
But
like he has a wife, but I don't think everybody could kind of see that like you know there might be something else going on.
Right. But no, it's really interesting to see that, especially when it comes to like Eastern cultures where like they are a little bit more reserved compared to like Western cultures. But it's just interesting because like his music video, his first one, has like 10 million views on it.
That's big.
And so for this openly gay artist to come out in like a
rock the global stage,
right?
Yeah.
And then still
new.
get like
That's
a big
awesome.
enough following and views. Like that's really like awesome.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like if that's just us one person, like that could open many doors for like other artists and stuff who are like trying to venture around and like be a little different. I mean, you might, I don't know.
Ooh, I get to try my new thing.
Oh yay!
Oh.
Why is it so far away though?
I brought a wireless mouse. I forgot to move it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he
No, I don't have to get it from my seat anymore because I got my little thingy. So.
But yeah, no. So I thought that was really cool and interesting. In the article, they talked a lot about just like just him and like talking about like other artists who like support, even show like their support for him and his movement and everything else like that. So it's really nice to see that even though, like you still get like, I don't know, what's it called? To like get like for this artist to get help from like other artists who are supposed to like also be like following the traditional sense and everything else. It's also really interesting about that too.
That's cool.
So like even if people like locally can't really support him, or if they're scared to by the government, like other people from other places in the world can, So
Well,
it's like yay.
But it's interesting in K-pop because like usually they manufacture those people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and then you have like your underground artists who like are self-made, and
That's cool.
so it's interesting not only to see the mechanical side and like the business side versus like the more personal side, I guess you can say.
Is he self-made or was he back?
I think he.
I mean, either
probably
way,
has
it's a good
company.
blend.
Yeah.
Right.
Like either way,
That's
I feel
true.
like this is a little bit more, like, it's less disingenuous.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
there's a certain side to this artist, even if he's manufactured, that he's really actually LGBT.
Right.
And like that's big.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So-
a big deal.
No, but yeah, to kind of add on to that, I think he's part of like a company, but I don't think it's
okay.
like
But it's not like
a huge
Yeah.
like now.
And
like
they wouldn't be because that's a
JYP or
huge
SM.
risk. Because
Right.
that could immediately flop.
Immediately.
Yeah.
But in his case, it doesn't seem like. I mean, that's necessarily the case, but maybe a lot of his following could be from Western cultures too. Like maybe in South Korea specifically, he's not getting as much attention. But
Okay.
like you can see like I don't know. And it's actually, to even touch on that, like it's interesting to see that we live in a day and age now where we can see news in other countries like this.
Yeah,
Do you get what I
that's
mean?
really
Because
cool.
like
That's
not
cool.
only just like Korea, but like in like countries like Istanbul or like I don't know, like Turkey.
Yeah. It's cool to see like
Like
because
Italy, even France.
yeah.
France, yeah.
Because stuff that used to be on like top charts even like 50 or 60 years ago was just
Yeah.
American music.
Pretty much, yeah.
And now you see like
Now you can have like Korean music, Latin music. It'll chart on American billboards,
Exactly.
and it's wild.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even that being, it just introduces you to a different culture.
Right.
You know, so it's cool to see that like everything now is. You're not just getting a biased view of like what music should be from an American standpoint. You also see how other people view it in other places in the world, especially when they use cool like composition techniques.
Yes.
Like if you get anything like anything in the Asia area usually has like cool like
chromaticism.
yeah and like
I mean, to
microtonal
have, like,
stuff and
Microtonal stuff. Yeah.
But then there's also the argument that a lot of, especially when it comes to like K-pop, like it's really westernized, and so is it really new from a Westerner standpoint? Does that make sense? Because
I think that's why it gets so popular.
Right.
Because it's pretty close to home. They're
Okay.
just singing in a different language. But I mean, like,
That's
in a
true.
lot of ways, like, nobody really cares. Like they'll just put the lyrics into Google Translate and like, oh, that's what they're saying.
True.
That's also interesting because like I listen a lot to the lyrics of what I listen to.
Right.
Like I really like that part of songs.
Right.
So like for me I haven't really gotten into a lot of K-pop because like I don't really listen just for like a beat or like
You listen
something
for
like
the
that.
actual content.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
and and I don't know. I like to think about it. So I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to like listen to K-pop and then like figure out like what the
What's the meaning behind
what the
it?
meaning behind it is. Yeah.
True. I mean, I guess that also helps you grow as an individual because
Yeah.
you're not only like figuring out
I'm not
what you
listening
like
to music
musically,
just one way.
right?
Yeah.
You're like looking at all the different elements of what really creates this thing we call sound.
Wow.
Oh,
Good.
was
That was
kind of
deep.
Oh my
was deep
god,
as
it's
hell.
deep.
Oh my god.
We have entered the toilet zone.
All right. So you guys want to talk about Demi Lovato now?
Oh.
Yikes! Everything was happy-go-lucky, and then all of a sudden you had to bring
It's
up.
like yeah, and then Demi
Let's
Lovato.
get
We
fucking
love
done.
Demi
She's on
first off.
heroin again.
She's on heroin again.
And it's It's a big joke among a lot of people.
And
that
upset
sucks.
about it. Yeah.
That's actually really shitty because think about it. This poor girl, I mean, yes, she relapsed, but like she's tried. And the fact that it's become a meme now, it's like I feel like if I were someone, like not even from like being an addict, if I had any type of like thing anything I'm like struggling with a problem, like I'd feel like, wow, everybody's making fun of me.
Yeah.
For having this issue, and I just feel like that's such a shitty thing.
I think that is a part of it, though. I think in a lot of when it comes to like everybody's so ironic now, and they have a different way of processing how they feel or the problems they're going through, and they'll see something that relates to them in a way, and think like, oh, but I would never want to open up to that in my real life, so I'm going to post something funny about it and joke about it until people realize, like, oh, this is a cry for help.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Like, oh, wait, something might actually be going on. I'm just going to keep talking about it and shit on it all the time until somebody realizes, like, well until somebody comes out and says, like, oh, is that just your problem? And then you, like, break down crying, because yes, it is.
Well, I think that's how it starts. And then I think, like, with the herd mentality and the meme culture that we have right now, like, on the internet.
It's definitely a herd mentality.
It's
That's a good way to put it.
herd mentality. Like, that's the whole point of memes, is just to, like, do the same thing over and over and over and over again until it stops being funny.
Funny, right.
And it's just weird when it gets
personal,
dark like this about just like some random chick that's just having problems.
And I think it sucks for Demi's standpoint too, because being in the spotlight, like being a celebrity, like you already face so many issues.
Yeah.
And so, like I even if she didn't relapse, like Demi's gonna be made fun of. Like look at the whole poot thing. The poot. You've never seen the poot meme?
No.
Oh, so like. Wow.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Where like Demi Lovato's like secret
like
twin
shit.
who was like staying like in her basement. It's really just like a shitty photo of Demi.
It's just a shitty photo of Demi Lovato, but everybody was like,
everyone's like,
poot. It's funny because she looks like ass at like a big event. And like, give her a fucking break.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Sarah,
if
I'm
I ever have
really
a chance to go to one of those shows, I'm gonna look like a fucking bum.
I know, like there's like that one picture of Beyonce. You know, that everybody...
Oh, yeah, where her face is all fucked up and she's on stage and she's
like,
oh.
Come on, look at any other picture of Beyonce and she's, like, gorgeous as
Watch
fuck.
any concert and freeze frame on any point. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
She just turned to look at the fucking camera and smile.
Right, but, like
someone was like, oh my god, Demi, smile, and she's
that's
like,
me every Tuesday morning. Come on, like, let's chill.
What's up with Tuesdays? It's Friday.
It's fucking 2 a day. God.
But yeah, no, I'm upset about it. And also I wanted to talk about, like, drugs in the music industry, you know, like, just in general.
Oh, well, you know what? That is a topic that is always going to be here.
It's always
no matter what era you're in, I've noticed
for real.
There's just drug use everywhere, like, even from, like, classical, like...
It's so weird. Why is it so prevalent in music? Like, I know so many musicians that just aren't into drugs at all, and they're just fantastic musicians, and they don't think about it. And then I know a lot of musicians who
have
are
a
very
personal
druggy.
anecdote about that.
Like,
he was such a good musician. He plays jazz guitar. He was like 22. But he was talking to me how like he's had opportunities to go and like record himself playing guitar because he's really good. And he was like, man, I don't get all these people talking about like you can't be so uptight about drugs because everybody does them and it's just a thing now. So if somebody offers you drugs and you're in a recording studio, just do it, man. Just be chill.
No.
And it's like you don't.
That depends.
That's not how you make that decision.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
Because then that could be like an addiction.
That's a really toxic way of
up.
thinking.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna be 6 leagues deep. And you're going to have the same mentality because that's never going to go away. You're like, well, everybody else is. I don't care.
But you know what's funny about this conversation? I feel like a lot of people, especially people listening, going to be like, yeah, no, that's so bad. But, like, you never know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most interesting thing about life. I think about life is is that you feel like you know the answers to everything, but then when you're actually faced with that situation, like let's be real, like if someone had offered you like $1 million for this contract, you were about to be a superstar, and all you had to do was like puff this thing of weed, like and I mean, you might be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but like if you're in that situation,
you're kind of like, and like not to say like we shouldn't make people who like make music and do drugs at the same time feel bad because a lot of the time like, it's not that serious,
right?
Yeah,
but it is worth talking about the mentality of like it's okay in a group context,
right?
It's like you shouldn't just do anything for the sake of like a lot of people doing it with you.
Yeah.
It just kind of is worse off for everybody.
It's peer pressure is not okay.
No.
That's not. It's just not cool. And I don't know. It's weird that specifically about drugs and music that it's so prevalent, because like I don't understand really what the connection is.
A lot of people say it could be
like
inspiration, because I mean, look at the Beatles. Where
that's true.
A lot of their music. It's just one giant acid trip.
There was the era before the acid trip where they were just like a boy band.
Right.
And a lot of musicians, like, I'm going to bring up Jack White again, guys. But yeah, no, he enjoys like their music before that because he actually believes that they got worse once they started doing drugs and not really making any sense. And I don't know, it's, of course, those bands got really popular, like Pink Floyd and, you know, shit like that, where like Grateful Dead, another great one, where, you know, they're making really great music,
right.
but they're making music for drug users to do drugs to and listen to. Like, that's the use of their music. The underlying, like, implication. Of course, they're not going to say, like,
hey,
this is drug music. But no, it's going to be like, this is music that we made. And
it could be so chill,
yeah.
Because you want it to be mainstream, but you can't go to a record label and be like, hey, put this on the radio. It's about doing LSD.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to want to
Well, now you can't. You could definitely do that.
Oh, yeah,
like
now
the
you
70s.
can.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
As long as you bleep out all the drug references. Like,
Well,
I mean, everybody knows what you're talking about, but
then
like,
you
can
have the
still go on
explicit
air.
version or
Yeah.
whatever, especially if you go on like Spotify, which is like you're gonna listen to freaking like what's his name, like Little Pump. Listen,
Lil
again,
Pump.
I sure do like Little Pump.
Listen, I don't understand this whole new trend of mumble rappers.
No, we can't just gloss over Little Pump. It's Lil Pump, honey.
That's what I said.
No, you said Little Pump.
I said Little Pump.
Can we talk about
Lil
Pump?
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
When he gets angry, he peeks the microphone.
I apologize. I might be from New York, but I also lived in Canada. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lil Pump.
Thank you.
That's better. Yeah.
Gosh.
But like if you listen, I don't see. I feel like, especially when it comes to like rap, like I remember growing up, like my dad like used to listen to like the original rappers like Run DMC and like just like all of these like you know, like you're gonna like DMX, like you know this is like there's a purpose with it, and like now I just feel like, especially when it comes to rap, like it's lost its true meaning because now a whole bunch of all rap is just fucking hoes, money, and drugs.
Well, yeah, it's watered down in a sense because like a lot of it is hype, and hype is an interesting thing. Like people talk about that a lot. Like people will hype up the album Hype.
Yeah.
I don't think that used to happen a lot before. Like people were excited for albums, but if an album was bad, it was bad.
Right.
And like you wouldn't listen to it if it was bad.
Right.
And word got around quick if it was bad.
Yeah.
Now you can put out something bad, but if you're popular enough and it's exciting enough, a lot of people will still listen to it.
Right.
And
As long as you make it accessible enough, people will listen to it.
Well, that's probably because
and then it's even funnier because then people will shit on it and it'll get more plays.
Well, yeah.
So like,
well, that's probably because like of social media and like meme culture now. So like you have a big following, you have a hardcore following because you're projecting your personality to these people and people are connecting with you.
Right.
So they don't want you to make bad shit, but if you do, they're just gonna not acknowledge it, you know, and just continue to be like, no, but I really, really like Drake, so I'm gonna continue to defend this.
I'm gonna hold on, Drake. I promise I'm here for you.
I promise, Drake.
Speaking of Drake, my next topic is gonna be.
Is it about the FouseyTube Drake thing?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you should
I
talk about that as well.
Oh shit. Okay,
one
real
last
quick.
thing I wanted. Okay.
Sorry, real quick. FouseyTube is like.
I know who FouseyTube is.
He had like a concert and he said he was going to say that Drake was going to show up, and then he just kind of stalked Drake for like a couple days.
Because he didn't, right?
Yeah, he didn't.
Drake didn't show, and he was hyping that up.
Yeah, and he was hyping that up and was trying to get a bunch of people to come in. Like 100 people came because nobody really gave a shit, and like Drake didn't show up, but like it's crazy. Like if you go and you look at the video, like he's having a mental breakdown right now. FouseyTube is. It's a lot.
But what do you mean by stalking? Like he found Drake in person?
Yes.
He found Drake in person.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm talking to, I had a meeting with Drake, and he didn't. He just was in the same room with Drake, and Drake's friend came up to him and was like, don't talk to Drake. And Drake left. So they didn't even talk, but he was like,
Drake's coming to my concert.
Yeah.
I nailed that.
I nailed it. But he also has like, Fousey Tube also has like a mental illness. He's either borderline or bipolar or something. So I think he's having like a manic episode right now, which is just
a
like
manic panic.
Oh no! I'm
That's insensitive.
That's an insensitive joke right there. It's okay. We'll edit it out.
Stop it.
But whew. So I feel bad for Fousey Tube, and I feel bad for Drake.
I feel more bad for Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, more bad because then Drake's brought into this like shitty situation that he didn't ask for.
Yeah, but
now
Fousey
Drake is
Tube's
kind of
got
like,
a mental illness and not as much money as Drake.
Drake's like, do I actually need to lay low right now?
Yeah,
like,
right.
am I in like, am I in
now?
actual danger, or do I just need to like, am I chill? Are we good?
I don't know. I think there's radio silence from Drake about this because like, what are you gonna say? Like, if you acknowledge him, he's gonna go
nuts. Yeah. So you can't you can't feel the fire. You can't feed the fire. You just have to let it die. Like, it's one of those things, like, you just have to kind of let things wash out.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I had one more thing to say about the whole drug topic. That was, we're losing a lot of people to overdoses.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
And it's sad.
Oh, and that was another thing I wanted to bring up. With the heroin overdose, she was saved by Narcan, I think, which is like a new drug that's like, it's like an EpiPen, where like, it's specifically for heroin overdoses, which, you know, is testament to how big the opioid crisis is. Yeah.
They're coming out with new stuff every day to try and combat it because it's so prevalent.
But, I mean, you know, it's an interesting thing that's like, I think it's new-ish.
I feel like drugs are getting harder. Like not harder to like obtain. I mean like the type of drugs people are doing are definitely like
a lot
way more fucked up.
Yeah.
Because again, like
it's go big or go home in the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like 50, like 100 years ago, like literally, like if you smoked weed, like oh my gosh,
you had to smoke a lot of weed.
Oh my gosh, right?
Now
Which
like,
everyone's like, okay, well, weed, like has like actual benefits. But then like you see people who are like snorting coke or like LSD or freaking Xanax, and you're just like,
what is happening right now? Why?
People having Skittles parties, which
I've never heard of that. I don't think I want to know.
I don't want to know.
I was invited. But
okay.
That's another story for another day. Because Mom, you're not listening.
It's crazy you bring up Xanax because I was listening to Juice WRLD on an interview. Yeah, he's a new rapper that's come out. But
can't keep up.
But this is actually like Juice WRLD is popular for a bit of a different reason, I suppose. Like I listen to his song, it's not really my thing.
This is
musically. But what he talks about, he's talking about. I think it's more like depression and stuff. Like he gets more into his deep emotions and things like that.
Okay.
And he was on the radio talking about Xanax, and he was saying Xanax in a lot of ways is worse than Coke. Like in his head, and he was talking about it because like somebody on Coke, not only do they look like they're strung out on Coke, they feel like they're strung out on Coke. If you're strung out on Xanax, you don't look or feel like you're strung out on Xanax, and it's very, very easy to overdose because Xanax is a downer, but like every rapper is talking about it now, so it's like one of those things where it's almost like a fad. So now like people are inclined to do more of it, and he's saying like it's not like one of those things that gets you high and wired and you like people will reach out and try to help you. Like if you're taking Xanax, it's cool, and the more you take, the cooler you are, and you're gonna die is essentially what he's saying. Like you're like Xanax is so tough to not do for a lot of rappers.
Really?
For a lot of popular people, So I was like, wow, that's wild.
Do you think it's because of that mentality of being in the studio and somebody gives you that shit?
And like sometimes like I can't imagine being in that environment where someone just hands it to you, and like you not only like you don't want to ask because you're like, what'd you just give me? It's like, bitch, Xanax, or like or something like that. Like you don't want to seem stupid. But like I can't imagine just being held like, wow, this is like life or death in my hands right now, and like a white pill.
Damn, that's a lot. See, this is why I play the viola.
Because we're just naturally depressed.
No violist is ever
no
going to
risk,
hand
no
me a
reward.
Xanax.
I'm just going to die content.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great.
God.
No, I second that.
Yeah, right.
But no, it's sad that not the viola part, but it's sad.
It is, but yeah,
it's sad that music nowadays, especially when it comes to like certain styles, where like they're promoting the uses of drugs like that. Yeah. It's sad that that's what's happening, and it's also sad that that's so popular, because you would think, like, if you, like, people are always talking about, like, oh, having morals and stuff, like, if you had morals, you wouldn't do it. But then again, there's also the argument where, like, everyone has different morals, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is why it's, like, again, from this standpoint, it's like, oh, doing drugs, oh, that's bad. But then for that person, I mean...
Well, I mean, I'm not against all drugs.
No, right.
I'm just against all drug-related deaths.
No, definitely.
You know, like, that doesn't need to happen. And also, I don't think you should be... Bringing it back to Demi Lovato, I don't think you should be making fun of somebody who's struggling with addiction.
Right.
Especially someone who's trying to better themselves.
Yeah, and she's trying.
Yeah.
Like, she's trying.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, don't, like... I mean, I imagine, like, she just ended up turning off her social media or whatever because she's going through a hard time. Like, that's what I would do if I'd relapsed on fucking heroin.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Give her a break, man.
Yeah.
She had her...
Let's chill on the memes for a sec, you know? You don't have to... You can find another meme to do.
But you know what? Knowing social media... Like,
yeah, they probably...
They'll find a new meme. Like, literally, I'm pretty sure, like, they talked about the Demi thing for, like, 2 days. And then now there's a new meme about, like, I don't know, a toaster or something like that.
But it's funny because, like, they'll make a new meme and then they'll put Demi Lovato in the new meme.
In the new meme to, like, still make
and then it's, like, double funny, you know? But...
But is it really funny?
It's not. It's
not sad.
Like, when I look at that stuff, it's like...
Yeah.
I mean... like, do more Howard the Alien or something. Like, I don't know.
Never mind. That's...
Have you not seen that?
No. What's Howard the Alien?
The gray alien that's dancing. And he's
like... I have seen that guy, actually.
Dude. I don't know the dance, but, like, I could learn it.
I got specific...
like, I could do it if you wanted me to.
That's
like,
that's not what I'm trying to ask you to do. But no, I got friends who are, like, showing me memes like that I'm like, I don't know what the heck that
like
made
what
me tired.
Actually am I looking? But that's exactly my humor.
Like
what am I looking at? This is funny. Yeah.
What did you send me that was like a girly quotes that was like, I don't have arms, I don't have legs, or whatever?
Yep, I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah,
because
he DM'd me this meme and I was like, why? And it's also the
DMs?
first thing he's ever DM'd me, so I was like, what? What is happening in my life?
No, I'd have to myself.
Okay, never mind.
It was funny because I'm a funny human being.
It was weird because he's a weird human being. But yeah,
What's
man.
Next?
That was my second topic.
Numbers, it's like not moving.
What are you talking about? Aaron, are you alright?
Aaron,
are you alright, man?
Did we break you?
It's the hair. Oh, stop.
No.
No, I was like looking at those numbers. I'm like, they're not moving.
What numbers?
Yeah,
like
the ones up at the top right here.
Yeah.
139.
Yeah, but like it's just like the same numbers.
Is it looping?
I don't
know.
No,
it's not. Just turn to 140.
Is it lupus?
Is it lupus?
Is it lupus?
No, we're good to go. It's just gonna do that because it's compensating for how long the audio file is. So it goes all the way. It goes to 99999, and then it'll restart at 1. But then each measure is doubled because it's trying to conserve.
See, this is when people click off when we're talking about background shit.
Nobody else like that? Whatever.
Anyways, next.
I mean, it's not like I like it.
I'm sorry.
Who's next? Was it Cameron or me?
I did the.
I did my second topic.
You're still in yours. You're on your second.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But I want to go back into Drake because you mentioned him. It's like.
Oh, the Fousey Tube thing. Yeah. Okay. Afterwards, I guess.
Yeah. Afterwards. Gotcha.
Or we can do it now. I don't know.
So I did France's president.
Mm-hmm.
How about this one? I guess. So this happened even longer ago. It was like a month ago. But the Grammy Awards guy said some weird shit about women.
Oof.
Ooh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So people were already in the process of like starting to not watch the Grammys a lot, and it was becoming more of a political thing, because a lot of females were just kind of getting pushed out. Like I think the last Grammys or the Grammys before that, Bruno Mars
won like 53.
He won so many top Grammys. He won like top artist, top song. He won, and people were like, okay, that's great. But, like, there are a lot of other talented people that are on these, and they deserve to win one, too.
Yeah.
I think when you give Bruno Mars, like, 6 Grammys in one night, that's a bit too far.
It's a lot.
It's a bit too far. Even if it's a good song and a good album, they're saying, like, it's just pushing everybody else, because that's 4 people who didn't get a Grammy.
Right.
You know? And they make really good music, too. And a lot of them are primarily male. So they're saying like it's like how is a female artist gonna win a Grammy? Like people are just like, really? Like you're gonna give Bruno Mars 6 and then give Lorde like none? Like I don't think I think she got nominated. I don't think she won any.
That's just the thing. When Lemonade came out with bringing it back to Beyonce, and I was like so pissed off at the Grammys because I was like, how this album is amazing.
Lemonade is incredible.
It's so good. Why is she not? I don't remember if it won.
No, I think Adele won, didn't she?
Yeah, Adele, because it was best like rock performance or something.
And Adele's great. Don't get me wrong.
Fantastic, but
and
like,
it's good that women are getting nominated. It's just like they have no chance of winning.
Yeah,
right.
And it's messed up.
And so people have the sentiment already, and then the oh gosh. Oh yeah, he's 6 wins for his pop album 24 Karat Magic, and just that album won 6 wins.
Wow, that's
just that album.
It's a good album. It's not that good. I mean, it's fine.
It's like it's music.
It's music.
Yeah.
It's not God. Like let's chill for a sec.
Yep.
Gee.
Oh man, I guess it doesn't say it in this one. But essentially, the guy in the Grammys was like, women need to step up to win Grammys.
What?
And then he resigned, because that's what you do.
It's like women need to... You're blocked.
Yeah, for
that's
real.
What you do. The world was like, unfollowed.
Isn't that what happened when with the Oscars, with the lack of representation? Where they were like, well, then minorities just need to be better at acting. And it's like, well, wait.
Well, now you should not be the person who runs this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If that's your views.
If that's really your views, like... And
that's not cool, man.
I mean, like, it's one of those things that's like, okay, but no, I'm sure he was just like when Trump said that one thing about women.
I'm sorry? I'm sorry. What is happening?
What happened?
Put him on the podcast.
No, it's not that. I don't know who the fuck that is. They just called me like 3 times in a row.
Really?
Like,
what the fuck?
That's scary. Maybe we need to do an investigation before we continue.
Yeah. Pause the podcast.
No, I think we're okay now.
Call this man, bring him here.
I'm gonna have to do more editing for this one.
Yeah, for real.
Sorry. Not really.
No.
Should we write a timestamp or something?
I'm probably not going to do more editing.
Because content is content.
I might do very little editing, but... I might I might edit Aaron to say like I like butts or something in that period of time, and then we'll keep moving on.
Do that. Say it.
I like big butts and I cannot. Okay.
Okay. No.
Okay.
Let's continue with the Grammys.
But I think from what I remember, the quote was that he said women need to step up to win Grammys.
Get punched.
Essentially, so there's all of these people saying like, wow, like female artists just aren't getting any representation. And then the guy who runs it is like, yeah, fuck females. And they're like...
Well, he wasn't exactly saying fuck females.
But that's
basically
fuck female artists.
Implied fuck them kind of thing. And it's so weird. It's weird as a female musician, like, especially in different genres, just how much of a fucking boys club it is still in 2018. It's just strange. Like... I don't know. Like, walking into a Guitar Center and having every person there be a dude, like, that sells shit. And then, like, you pick up a guitar and they're like, do you know what you're doing? And you're like, yeah, I've fucking been playing this shit for 5 years.
Like, 3 employees come up and they're like, you all right there?
Dude, we have them in pink. Excuse
I fucking know. I'm not touching that bullshit. And, you know, it's just like...
Why don't I show you a piano? Like, I know a lot of females do that. Like, come over here. We got some for
a lot
like
of
$60. They're
Like
like
Alicia
25
Keys.
keys.
It
It should
might
be
be-
easy for you.
It might be better for your tiny lady hands, and you're like, okay, let's.
Okay, well, I
let's
Here's a
go.
viola
bass,
book.
so let's
Here's
start.
a viola book. Oh. Oh no.
That's a joke. That's
a
not. That's
joke.
not anything against.
No,
viola
I would go
players.
straight to the viola books first before the guitar.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it's just weird, especially and also in classical music. You know, it's a lot of dudes, and you're like, oh shit, this boy is. Everybody is playing the goddamn cello, huh? Is a dude. I don't know any fucking women cellists. Are you
No,
okay?
there's,
You know.
Dupree, but she's dead, so.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rip.
Moment of silence.
R.I.P. in peace. But no.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah.
Rip in pieces.
Rip in pieces. All right. I don't know. I'm just upset that, there's not more women that are being encouraged to be musicians.
So to remedy this,
Yeah.
the
was
guy
a
stepped
shoot.
down from
Told
office.
them
I guess
because-
Grammy's getting a new president. But Recording Academy set up a task force to increase diversity. Portnow later said he would be stepping down from his post. Expansion of nominees for the Grammys follows a similar decision, blah, blah, blah. They increase from 5 to 10 the number of... Oh, no, that's Oscars. So only one winner is still named, but I think they went from 5 to 8, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So the Oscars went from 5 to 10. The Grammys went from 5 to 8, but there's still only going to be one winner, which makes sense.
It does. It's a weird solution than just...
It's a weird solution to just add more people who can be nominated.
And not like... Are you okay?
He's helping.
He's...
No,
He's
I'm
adding
listening
content.
to add more people. Continue. I'm
Okay.
sorry. It's just like for some strange reason I was like, ooh.
That sounds fun.
I think I have ADHD. No, I'm just
so.
put this one.
Holy shit. But it's just a strange solution to like then just making sure that you have more female artists represented, Like, I feel like that's the solution.
It's not like more of a push for female artists. It's really just saying like we're gonna make it easier for a female artist to come in, which kind of has a little bit of the same
then
connotation.
Yeah.
I also
I
feel like that
guess
would be
so.
kind of like, here's the thing. Okay. I believe definitely there needs to be representation, but I feel like if all of a sudden next year there's just a whole bunch of female artists, which would be great,
More
That's
it
people are-
looks
also
like they're
disingenuous.
just trying
yeah.
hard.
No, I get it.
Not saying that like female artists don't deserve those
It needs to
spots.
happen
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and honestly, like if you had like more of a, because especially when it comes to like Grammys and like stuff like that, like they have like a council.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Who
but
does that
how,
stuff?
like, but come
There's a
on.
lot of
Mainly
conspiracies
old
about that
white.
council,
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Illuminati,
but
Beyonce?
Beyonce.
No,
Then
but
she would have won though.
she should have.
she has
won.
enough
She
Grammys.
Would have won. I mean, that was before the
That's an
time this guy stepped down.
She
so
already
Yeah,
won.
true.
I don't think she would have won, but
No.
she should have.
She should have won.
And I think there's a lot of people that should win a Grammy too.
I think everybody
Yeah.
deserves a Grammy.
Like
No, I
everybody-
don't think so.
Not everybody deserves
No.
a Grammy.
Everyone who's
I know a lot of people who should not
Like,
get a
like,
Grammy ever.
mm.
But like also that whole Kendrick Lamar winning a Pulitzer Prize.
Who?
What?
Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer Prize
For what?
for his album.
Oh.
Oh,
Was
he's
it
a good artist too.
He's great. Yeah.
He's a really good artist. What was the album? I think it was To Pimp a Butterfly. I don't
Okay.
think it was Damn. I think it was one of the older albums, but he won that prize, and people were like, really? Like, because nobody like him had won one of those prizes before.
Well, Bob Dylan won the what was it? Oh God, the Pulitzer Prize for like literature, because like they were arguing that his music is like poetry, and a lot of times it is if you listen to Bob Dylan, but in a very Bob Dylan fashion, he just didn't show up to accept it.
Yeah. So it
And
was
he-
kind of like
That's
the
very
meeting.
poetic though.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're not respecting it," and he was like, "Well, I don't think of my music as that important." Like, I mean, he's like, "Yeah, it's art," but like, he said something like, "Well, Shakespeare isn't writing his plays, in like the room, being like, this is Shakespeare, this is literature. He's just writing it for it to be a play, and that's how I write music. So I don't really believe in getting awards like this. And I think he's done that before with the Grammys as well. But, that's his whole thing. That's him.
But that makes sense, though.
Yeah. But, and so, like, it's interesting when you give musicians like that not music-related awards. And also there are a lot of rappers, like I think Tribe Called Quest as well, like, said that they didn't want to, they didn't believe that awards meant, who was good and who was not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool that Kendrick won something, because, I mean, like, that's representation for his community, you know? Yeah. And, like, that's what people are trying to argue for females. Like, they just... And it's not like they can't win awards, it's just, like, it's harder. So, like, that's what I'm kind of saying when they're saying, like, they're just opening up more nominees for each category, because it's kind of like... It's not that, like, it's equal, it's that they're trying to, like, baby women in a way.
Yeah.
And so, in a sense, it could look demeaning.
Right.
But they also are trying to diversify themselves, which is good. So I don't really know what's going to come of that, or if they're going to take it in the right direction or anything like that. Because there is a possibility that the next Grammys, you're going to see a lot of female artists. And you're going to be like, but that's weird.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look anything like it was last year.
Right.
So why is it all of a sudden, like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
So it's weird to think about.
It's interesting. Like, what's the right answer?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I mean, what would everybody be?
You decide.
With?
And it's a product of more than just, like, the Recording Academy. Like, it's not just them, obviously. Yeah. There's more to it than that, but it is something I feel like does need to be fixed.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Also, like, in general, the Grammys, like, it's so interesting to hear it, like, the political side, because, like, when I watch the Grammys, I'm hearing from the music side, like, man, this sound mix is garbage. So, like, I'll go from, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Beyonce didn't win blah blah blah, and the women representation, and that's, like, the main problem. And then I'm like, in my sphere, it's like, the sound guy should be fired.
Isn't it crazy how,
that's
though,
hilarious.
like a lot of these shows now are, like, just, like, ramming political commentary down your fucking throat.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes up there, like, they don't, like, everybody's trying to make a speech that's saying something about the president.
Yeah.
In shows that are, like the Oscars or the Grammys. Like, you're winning an award for music. Like, you make good music, and it has nothing to do with politics. So all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I'm going to take this chance to ram my political views down your fucking throat.
Well, then you can make the argument that some people make music for political stances.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely. Like, Pink.
Oh, yeah.
Like, her newest songs, they're all about Trump, dude.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
like, and she has a right to go up there and perform and, like, make political statements like that, because that's her nature.
Yeah.
But, like, if like, someone winning an award for, like, I don't know. I guess you have a right to express your views. Yeah.
I believe, like, in times of political strife, like, because this happened with the Cold War as well when Nixon was president. A lot of, like, actors, started making political statements, and they started getting, like, actually, like, they got detained by the FBI when that whole, like, McCarthyism was a big thing. And, like, just saying anything that was against America was like, well, are you a communist? Because we don't know. And then, like, detaining people. And
like, we have a right to hurt you because we don't know if you're a communist or not.
And, like, no, yeah, it's a real thing. It's crazy.
I know, but I just feel like that's just so... Maybe because, like, we're post
all that.
We're not really, though.
It's a good sentiment that you're talking about, though, that, like, it raises awareness, because it does.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But I just think that's natural. Like, when our political environment is in turmoil... Is that me? Oh, it is me.
Did you set an alarm? Is that when you're supposed to wake up or something?
Yes. I wake up at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.?
Yes.
Who said time to make dinner in case I forget to eat? Like, why are you setting an alarm for 6 p.m.?
How are you in my brain, Cameron? What are you doing?
Oh, God.
No, I take daily naps from 4 to 6. And...
No, I just slack off constantly, and I need to stop. This is a cry for help.
Guys, did you know that anybody could have a podcast? You can take a daily nap from 4 to 6, and you can have a podcast. You could be that person.
Oh, you
now let me get back to McCarthyism.
Oh, man.
No, for real, though. When you're in a time of political turmoil, that's when everybody's going to start talking about politics. And when you have any platform at all, that's when you're going to start talking about politics. Like recently, my goddamn old English teacher from high school just Facebook messaged everybody that she knows and was like, listen, this is why I think you should vote for this guy in the upcoming Florida elections, because it's that serious to her that politics and like you need to do this for education and for her daughter and blah 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 and all these different things. And like when you're in it, when you're that politically involved, you can't not speak about it.
Right.
And I've been guilty of that as well. And it's weird to be young and to do that, because a lot of young people, I'm not going to say they're disinterested in politics. I think there's a bigger interest in politics now. You're disinterested in politics? Well, there's a lot of apathy.
And it's not like I do it on purpose. It's like I've never, ever had a stance, unless it's very specific to the situation. Okay. Like if you were to ask me any views, like how do you feel about Social Security? I don't know. What's the situation? Like,
it's running out.
I'm not just gonna put a vote on a ballot. Like I don't know.
Right.
Do you vote?
Well, I haven't got the chance to until the next election because I'm a youngin.
You're a youngin.
Oh,
I always forget about
so
that.
I haven't been able to. I am registered to vote.
Okay.
And I will be doing the next election, obviously. Vote.
Okay. Vote. Everybody vote.
I will make sure to be interested at least for this one time.
Yeah.
Even if I don't vote for governors or whatever, like I'll at least do it for the president. You should.
I mean, to be honest, like if you are going to be politically involved, you should be more involved in local government because that's going to have a bigger impact
on you specifically.
On you specifically.
Yeah.
So if you're only worried about yourself, really, then you should be focused on local government elections, which a lot of people just skip and they just do the big ones. Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's fun and all, but
just bubble and B. It's right 63% of the time.
I don't know if that
probably doesn't apply to ballots.
No,
but
I don't think so.
It applies for math tests, I guess.
That's such a I just got out of high school kind of answer.
It really is.
Oh, God.
Never seen a ballot before.
I've done like 9 credits. I know what I'm talking about.
I've done like 9 credits. Oh no.
Oh man.
Politics, y'all.
I'm over on credits. That kind of sucks.
You're over on credits?
Like over my 60.
Oh, yeah. I think same. That's because I went to FSU and then I took a month.
It feels like I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done. But then they're like, no, but you got to do this if you want to go here. And I'm like, whatever. God.
You're really apathetic in general then.
Huh?
Apathetic in general then.
Apathetic? What does that mean again?
Oh, God.
I promise I know English.
It means like you don't care a lot, or like, you know, you have a feeling of like, not like...
Yeah, I used to think I was a sociopath, but that was when I was in like 4th grade.
All right. Next topic.
So on the topic of...
You're not though, right? You're
no.
not okay.
What?
You're not a sociopath.
I have feelings. I'll cry listening to Jacob Collier. Like, are you kidding me? I feel things.
All right. Just wanted to prove to everybody, Cameron's not a sociopath.
I'm just afraid of how much of a pussy I am is the problem. I just want to look big, but on the inside,
no, Cameron doesn't square up. It's awesome.
You see this teddy bear?
You see this teddy bear?
That's
an actual representation.
Actually, wait, I need the teddy bear.
In the middle of the counter.
To be honest, I actually got fear right then when you were like, I used to think I was a sociopath. And I was like, oh, person next to me used to think he was a sociopath.
He has a much higher chance of killing me now.
He's in my house. He's been at my house all day.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Yes.
I thought that was more of a joke. I guess sociopathy is crazy.
Maybe sounds like a subject in class. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, let's study sociopathy.
Probably. Or like psychologists in training.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, so on the topic of mental health,
when did we start?
When or where?
When?
I don't remember. We just started at a time.
I don't have like a timestamp or anything, so it's like
we should probably.
How long have we been doing this?
We should probably start doing that.
Yeah, we should probably.
Start writing down when we start these. But anyways, continue. We have more topics to talk
about. This is my second topic where everyone's done 2, right?
You've done 2. I've done 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my second topic. So kind of going back into Drake. Wow, that's like really echoey. Going back into the whole Drake thing. So this Kiki challenge, the police are actually like telling it like stop. They're just like, what the fuck? Because a lot of people are like actually getting hurt. Like, because I mean, mind you, like the ones where like you're in like your room doing it, okay, that's fine, whatever. But like there are like a lot of people like getting out of their cars and doing this. I think the other day
well, that's the point of the challenge, is it not? That you're supposed to get out of your car,
right? Which is fine, except like people are getting hurt. Like I saw two videos that were like funny as hell, but like they're bad. One of them, the guy like got out of his car, he was doing it, and then his door like closed.
Got him.
And like it was locked. And so he's like trying to chase his car down, and mind you, it's like on autopilot, and like there's like oncoming traffic.
Well, yeah, you drive it like you go to like 10 miles an hour and let it drop, and then you cruise control at the last second. So it's like 1 mile an hour going down, but there's always that chance because there's no one in the fucking car. Yeah. So it's like
that's the whole point.
I thought people like you had someone in the driver's seat and they were filming.
No,
but then I realized like, oh wait, that camera is static. Like no one's like holding it, like it's not shaky. Like they just put that on their console and then just leave it and get out of the car while it's moving, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, this isn't like a new thing though. It's called Ghost Riding the Whip. It's been around for a long time. Yeah.
Right. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's at a point now. I'm just like, I feel like there are a lot of challenges that I'm just like, if it's dangerous.
But this one is dancing and it appeals more to kids.
Right, which is where the danger comes, because you see a lot of like these younger people. Like I saw this one video, like these teenagers, they were doing it, and literally like he was outside his car, everything was fine, and then this car just comes and whams into him, and I'm like,
oh my god, where are you seeing these videos?
Like I've been in a fender bender once, and like that has scarred me. Like thinking about cars hitting other cars gives me fucking tingles. Like oh my god, I hate it because I rear-ended this one lady, and it has scarred me. Like I hope I never do that again.
Oh.
I just wanted to know.
Nobody was hurt. It was perfectly fine, and it's not even on my record. But like I felt so bad about that. Like I couldn't fess up to it. Like that, my dad had to get a call from the people saying like, "Was there an accident that this?" And they were like, "Did you?" And I was like, you know, it was bad. Like honestly, it has scarred me for life. So like thinking about these kids who like they're 16, they see this challenge and they're like, oh, like I'll just take my mom's car,
or something like that,
in the middle of the night and do the challenge, and it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Or just wake up early in the morning at sunrise before my parents wake up and do it.
Yeah.
I'll have like an hour, and then
that?
They wreck shit. It's scary because you can get hurt, man.
Yeah, you get hurt pretty bad.
Being in a car accident is so scary.
It's a giant machine.
Don't put yourself in danger like that.
Don't.
But you know what? Again, it's easy to say it, but like when you're doing it because everyone else is doing it, it's gonna be like kind of goes back into the whole drug situation, where it's just like you have this mob mentality. This is a challenge, and I think that's the danger when it comes to challenges. I mean, there are a lot of different things going on. Like I remember everybody's doing like the cinnamon challenge.
Oh yeah.
Well, like that. I mean,
those are funny.
As fun as it was, like that actually like people were like choking.
No, they died.
People died.
You could die.
People had serious.
Or like if you had like allergic reactions you didn't know about. Like, Or like the Tide
Pod challenge.
Oh,
think about
my God,
dude. It just got, cinnamon challenge was like, when was that?
Forbidden snack.
It goes straight into the ASMR like, hey guys.
The forbidden snack.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I think those are funny, and I would probably do it if
the
I had.
Memes were funny. It's just when it gets to kids, it's like
right, and that's when it's
that
like,
think it's real, and it's like.
But then you see like
someone did like a tutorial and they made
like
Tide Pod cookies, and I was like, see, that's when you.
That's
when you.
When they started making Tide Pod like donuts or something, I was like, that's hilarious, but.
But like now you're making it like really edible.
It seems like it should belong on like My Strange Addiction, like.
Well,
like I have been eating Tide Pods for the past 12 years.
It's like how?
It damages my family immensely. Like, oh my god, it's so weird. I don't like.
I just feel like challenges. I mean, there could be like the ice bucket challenge. That's a challenge that I'm like, you know what?
I did that.
Wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wholesome.
I did that.
Except for the people who didn't donate, you heathens.
I didn't donate. I should have.
Well, that was the whole point. Is if you don't donate.
I was just like, I'm raising awareness, and then I got older, and I was like, wow, I need to delete this because I didn't donate. Like I didn't do shit. I didn't have money.
I did it and I donated.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're the good person in that situation because that's the point.
Because
People
I'm a
are
Virgo,
supposed to.
and that's what we do.
And I didn't, and I'm an asshole.
I didn't do it, and I didn't donate.
Wow.
Stephen Hawking had ALS.
Oh.
Was that? Didn't he?
I thought maybe.
Was that the disease he was suffering from?
Is he? He died.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Stephen Hawking.
You were the best person at the table, like a couple minutes ago, honey. Honey bear.
The audio listeners probably going like, "What's going on?" Guys, watch our video.
It's fucking dead.
I'm so sorry. Hawking Estate.
You need a formal
I apologize.
apology. Yeah.
I will. He's dead. Like Stephen
So,
Hawking.
you're both getting kicked out of my house.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I can't look at the camera because I'm ashamed.
I'm looking straight at the camera.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I
But
tried
anyways,
to keep it together so bad.
No, don't but anyways. You gotta sit in your shame for a little bit more, I think.
Okay.
Moment of
I
silence.
promise.
Really grasping for straws
Wait,
in
were
my
we
mind.
supposed to do like our music, our song of the weeks?
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Songs of
Sure.
the week. Songs of the children. That's not a real. That's not a real song, but it's going to be some
Songs of the
Songs
Children.
of the Children.
Actually,
New hit single.
New hit single, Songs of the Children by Dictations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what though? But that sounds like a legit thing.
Songs of the Children by Dictations?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we should be like a R&B, like, soul group, like the Temptations.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, honey.
We're just
I'm
wearing
down.
oversized coats and like shades. We're just like.
Oh, okay, so recently I started listening to Run the Jewels, specifically Close Your Eyes, parentheses, and Count to Fuck, and parentheses. And it's so good. They're so good. It's rap. So I'm just like a little white woman. I'm just like walking up the street, and I'm just listening to like "Kill the Police." I'm like, it's fucking awesome.
You feel different when you listen to.
To different genres
Yeah.
of music.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a visceral thing.
Mhm.
Like I'm, like that's all I used to do is like I would go out and have headphones in, but I would play like different songs and see how I felt.
Oh.
Like if my mom was like in the grocery store or something and I was left in the car like for 20 minutes or something,
Yeah.
I would just put on like a playlist of 4 songs that have like wildly different feelings and see how I felt.
That's cool.
That's like this weird emotional like experiment on myself.
I just have my Spotify on like shuffle just because I listen to so many different genres. So it's
Yeah,
interesting
same.
to see
No,
how
yeah.
like I'll go from like I don't know like from I don't know like Dance of the Soldiers from like Romeo and Juliet from Prokofiev or whatever the fuck, and then to like switch from that to go all the way to like Run DMC,
Yeah.
and then to switch back to like Sarah Bareilles. Like,
We
it's actually
are
really
the world. We are the children.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I should show you my Spotify playlist. It has 648 songs on it.
Damn.
It spans all the way from 2012 to now.
Wow.
Yes, it's very, very expensive.
How many songs do I have? How do you know?
I don't know.
How do you find that number?
If you're online on a laptop, it'll show you at the top. Yeah, you got to go on a laptop. I don't think it'll show you on the phone.
I think Spotify's deleted my old songs that I used to have because like
There
there's a
actually,
lot.
I found out like certain, because there were like certain songs I had that I was like I used to listen to it and I noticed it like gray.
Oh, so
Now,
it's like it's too.
It's there, but
Uh-huh.
what ends up happening? Certain companies like might not want like certain albums to be published anymore out like for
Well, I don't
streaming
think
services.
That is strange,
That
isn't
is
it?
strange.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they'll
That is
keep it there. Like there's a
strange.
placeholder, and like you can make it visible.
Mhm.
It's just you can't listen
It's
to it.
strange that
Weird.
artists would not want to have everything they've ever put out on. Ooh, whoa, sorry.
Hello.
Lagged. It's strange that they would not want,
Like
to have everything they've ever done on every platform where everybody can listen to it or buy it or something like that.
But you
Just
can
have
also
everything
say-
I
accessible.
think that's a new
That-
idea though.
It's like it's only exclusively on this. But then you can also say it could have been the company's decision.
Yeah, but I think with that idea of having everything that you've ever done be public is so 2018. Like, is really like everything has to be online, everything has to be because everything can make money. Because like in the olden days of music, making money was like, let's make a record and sell it, and let's make like 200, because I think that's gonna sell. And then if it sells out, then I'll make more.
Yeah, because it is different now that like you don't have to print out something.
Yeah, pretty much.
For somebody to you don't have to have a CD anymore.
Yeah.
So like it's not as much of a risk putting something out on the internet because you don't have to like pay consistently every time you want more of it to be released.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is an interesting thought.
Unless you're Aaron and you spend $100 on Blackpink merchandise.
On what merchandise?
Blackpink. It's a K-pop.
Because they're in your area.
Oh, see, I wouldn't know. I need to listen to more music like that.
They're pretty good.
I was introduced to K-pop in like high school, and like it was just kind of annoying to me then, but I haven't explored it until now.
I think what it is for me though is like it's all happened randomly. Like I used to watch anime a lot, and then I stopped, and I don't know how I got from like Japan to Korea, but I was like.
Probably like cross.
Just made a switch. Like
I don't listen to K-pop as much now. Like it's only like certain groups when it's like like Blackpink, like they hadn't made music in a whole year. For me, I don't care as much because I'm like okay, well listen to da 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 da. But then they had a new album come out. I'm like
Yeah.
K-pop is just there's too much saturation. There's too many groups going on. I'm like nah, you guys keep that
right over there.
Yep. Great.
But yeah, so that's your song. What about
my song? Yeah. Anybody else?
I have one, but
it's something. I've been wanting to talk about the Gorillaz.
Oh.
Because they've been putting out music. Like they put out the album before the one they just put out. The one they just put out is just written by the lead guy.
Yeah.
The singer, 2D.
I heard that, yeah.
It's just him.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't think they're broken up, or that was like their end album, the one before that with like Saturn's Bars on it. And, but it's strange that he would release an album made just by him under the name Gorillaz. Because that implies that he is Gorillaz and nobody else is, kind of like a Brendan Urie thing.
Yeah.
Like when he plays with other people on stage, that's not Panic at the Disco. He is.
it's
Right.
just, yeah.
So I guess I need to dig into the history of
What happened?
Gorillaz more because I don't really know. Because that opens up weird questions about the band. Like who is Gorillaz? Is it everybody? Is it just him?
Right.
And the music is weird too. The music is weird.
It's
a
different.
It's a shift.
Yeah. I forget, like with Gorillaz albums, I know I've listened to like the 2 different reviews for the last 2, and I forget if Humans was the one that just came out or the one before. I don't.
I think that was the one
That was the one before.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the one that just came out is under a different name,
Okay.
and I think it's the name of the title track, but I can't
remember
the name.
And I've heard they're both just kind of meh. It's just one's weirder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Humans was weird.
Yeah. Humans.
Saturn's Bars was a good song.
Yeah.
Humans
And
was-
then all the rest of the songs are just strange.
the Now's the new album.
The Now, that's right.
Ah.
Humans was the one before.
Okay.
And the Now is a lot simpler. Like I was listening through it and it's like very beachy vibes.
Huh.
That's
Interesting.
Is it beachy or BG?
beachy. Like very
that's
like
different,
California.
I was like, oh, the beachy.
Especially the title track. I think the Now is a song that's very like reminiscent of like feeling good. But Humans they had that one song that was a really crazy political statement.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I just wish it was executed better, Because you think about how catchy Gorillaz was before.
Right.
And I mean, it was so poetic, and
Yep.
all the music just made you feel like you were in a different world.
Yeah.
I would lie awake at night listening to Melancholy Hill,
Aw.
and like, like their music was the music I listened to when I wanted to get away. And now listening to them is kind of like, but I'm still here. Like I'm not in Gorillaz world anymore.
The groove is gone. Pretty much.
It's just the vibe in general.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's something lost. Like, it's good that they want to, make these kinds of statements, but for me, it's like, I just want to go back to, like, where they were, like, the ghost inhabited the drummer guy, and then apes came out and danced, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, that was their whole thing, was they're a different, like, world,
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
What was yours?
Oh, I had two different. This week I had like so many moods that were going on because life is a roller coaster.
It is.
Seriously.
But so I kind of have more than one song. Like it's kind of like two moods that I've had this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's the pumped up Aaron. So like a song that's like really gotten my attention is called IDGAF by this artist named Melly Mel. Actually, no, I'm lying. Well, no, that's a good song too. But yeah, no, actually, no, we're gonna go with that. And it's kind of interesting because I think she's like this Dominican rapper, and so it's kind of interesting to see. Because I've been getting a lot into like reggaeton and like Latin music recently, and it's just kind of interesting to see like now you have like female rappers not only in like Western cultures, but like Latin. They count as Western.
It's Western. It's West.
It's West.
It's Western, but you can say Latin culture.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see that, like, because usually when you think of Latin culture, like, it is more, like, predominantly male.
True.
And you have, like, female artists, but, like, they're more, like, sultry, like, like, you don't see them as, like, rappers. Or like that. So it's really cool. And then my other mood, one of my favorite groups, the XX, I started listening to their first album, XX, a lot more this week. Just because for me, like when I first found them, it actually was a really funny story. I started listening to them because I had a friend. Well, we weren't friends at the time, but like it was someone I was trying to be friends with, who I'm like friends with, I guess now. But they were like, oh yeah, the XX is coming, like da-da-da. And like they were like kind of indie-ish, and like give you the vibe. And then like me not knowing who it was, but I was like, yeah, I love the XX. I can't wait to go, because I guess they were playing at the like House of Blues like a couple years ago. They're like, oh yeah, what's your favorite song? And from like I was like, oh yeah, Islands. Because I was just thinking, what's something like underground and indie? She's like, oh my God, I love that song too. And I'm like, that's a song. And sure enough, I watched the music video, which I just recently showed you.
Yeah,
and it actually is my favorite song. Well, no, Islands is a good song. My favorite song is actually Basic Space. There's like this little ditty at the end with like the guitar and like the beat. Cool. It's actually really good.
And that's in my Islands is in my playlist now. Like yeah,
they have really good music. I feel like their older stuff, the newer stuff, I'm like, I feel like that happens with a lot of musicians I've been like used to listen to a lot, because like Sarah Bareilles, my favorite artist like of all time. Little Voice is my favorite album to this day. Even Careful Confessions, but like anything after Kaleidoscope Heart, it was good. Yeah, there are like a couple songs, but like I won't listen to like the whole album. Like when it comes, like there are certain songs now, it's like I'll listen to like this song of this album, this song, but like when it comes to like full albums, it's always been like older works from artists.
It's weird for her because I feel like post when she arranged Waitress, I feel like I'm just not interested anymore. Even though I love Waitress, right, and I love the movie as well, I'm like I'm just not interested anymore.
Right. I feel like I'd have to listen to like her older stuff. I'm like, yes, but then I'm also worried, like, what if there's a concert coming up? Like, am I going to enjoy myself?
Exactly.
Because it's not the same vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, those are my songs of the week. It's just, it's interesting to see how music, it's interesting to see how music has changed, even in the span of like a couple years. Where like you can see the growth of the artist himself, whether it's like classical music or like contemporary or whatever, and like you can see where they are and like their mentality and everything else. So I think that's kind of cool, but it's also like, are you a real fan if you don't like everything that they post?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's true. Like you're a real fan if you like them.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Some people might make the argument because like they're like, look at like the Beehive. Anything. I love Beyonce. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. So please don't come for me, Beehive. But like there are just certain tracks that I'm like, I can skip you. That doesn't mean I don't love Beyonce.
Exactly.
I will still follow her on Twitter and everything else, but like I'm not gonna listen to every single thing just because not everything resonates with me.
Exactly. I shit on Jack White all the goddamn time, but look at my wall. This is love.
It's a white wall.
It's a white wall.
You're always going to have that one song.
Yeah.
And then even if it's not now, it's going to be later. The
Yeah.
artist is going to put out something you're just like, I can't stand this.
Yeah.
And like, there has never been an album that I've ever listened to that I could listen to the whole thing and be
Really?
like, I
Wow.
love every
I
single
can't.
track.
No.
I
like
can't.
White Stripes, their second album, the whole thing in my life.
can't.
All
The
day
one
long.
that's ever come close is 21 Pilots Vessel album.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
Mm.
And now I don't like my music taste has changed since then. Now the closest one is Daniel Caesar's Freudian.
But then that also shows that you've grown as a musician
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Because you're not going to, like, I don't listen to Asking Alexandria now, but like in middle school, what?
Yeah.
You know, so it just shows where you are as an individual. You're not going to always love every single thing all the time.
Yeah.
So,
I just really like the blues a lot. And I like that acoustic slide sound. So I'm gonna love that fucking White Stripes album so much.
Think about like all SpongeBob music. That's her style.
Yes.
Like all the slide guitar, all of it.
Dude.
That's just Sarah.
all of it.
Oh, I thought you say all like the songs that came from SpongeBob.
Split.
SpongeBob had some fire songs.
They had some
Best
bops.
Day Ever.
Split My Pants.
Split.
Oh my god. Jamming. Every day.
Forever will be This Kitchen's Not the Same Without You.
Oh,
that's
God.
in my heart. Like
That's so good.
That's my favorite
Oh
song.
my
It's
goodness!
so
not
good.
even like the shoelace.
This stove is not a
Oh
stove.
yeah, that was a bop when I was
Oh,
growing up.
awesome.
That came up about the time I was tying my shoes, I think.
I thought you were gonna say born. I was like, damn, I'm old.
No, I think might have been before. I don't know. I don't know how.
We sound like we're like 60 years old, but we're not. We're just 20, so it's like
yeah.
21.
21. All right. I think we're done. I think we're slowing down.
Before we crash and burn, let's just crash
Let's just
and then leave it there.
burn.
and then we'll light
Thank you
everything on the
guys.
fire. Yeah.
Again,
Thank you, everybody. The
Thank
camera
you.
didn't die this time.
No.
Yay!
Yay.
But we want to give a special shout out to all of our supporters. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
all the effort and just listening to like this whole podcast because let's be
Super
real,
cool.
we're kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But this is our second one,
Mhm.
so they will get better.
We will.
We will. We'll
I
try
very
our
much
best.
appreciate everybody watching. It's very good.
But don't forget to like us on our Facebook page.
Yep.
Subscribe to us on our SoundCloud, YouTube channel. We'll post the videos up there. And then get to know us. Follow our separate pages.
Yeah, follow our Instagram.
Instagram. We'll keep you guys in the loop.
Look for us
Yeah.
on Sundays. I don't think we said that before.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Sundays is when we post.
But Sundays, I
Sundays.
think, is what we've decided is going to be
Sunday
the day
fun
for
day.
both the audio on SoundCloud and the video on YouTube.
Maybe at separate times. But
Probably at
On-
separate times. SoundCloud will probably go up in the morning, and the video will go up at night.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, just for those who couldn't find us on YouTube, we're Dictations the podcast.
Yep.
And on SoundCloud, we're
Dictations.
Dictations.
Yep.
Just to let you guys know, because I know last week it was like,
It was a little
like,
hard to find the video podcast. Yeah.
who?
Who is that?
It's always
But
is
yeah.
when you have like a few views. Like it's always hard to find something that specific.
Yeah.
But it'll get better.
Yeah.
I promise. But eventually we'll start just making like links in the description so you can just go straight to it. Just hit a
Right.
button.
Also, Malta sponsor us,
For the second time.
please.
Essentia sponsor us because we love clean water.
But Malta first.
But Essentia.
But
First.
Malta first.
Okay, second.
Okay, goodbye. But also, I love you, Malta.